The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profit.
What's up, Octo Nation? Today we're taking a look at Faraday, who could be, what the SPAC is that might be, could be, should be taking them onto the market. I think we got some great connections. I didn't have to do a lot of the work, which is even better. So I get this video a little bit faster, right? What's Faraday? Well, it's another electronic vehicle. Another one. I kind of like these. Kind of look like a Chevy Volt-ish. I don't know. The interior looks super sweet. You know, everyone's going with that same, monitor in the back. Look at these seats in the back that fold like totally recline down. Did you see that? Watch this. That's pretty dope. So they're saying you can hang out in the back seat, recline. I think it looks pretty nice. There's the skateboard. Everyone's going to have their own version of a skateboard, I think. Looks pretty amazing. This company seems like they've been far along. I'm not going to act like I know every single thing about them because I definitely don't. But they got working driving models, right? I believe this is mostly Asia-based. Let's dive on in. Why do we care? Well, the EV startup Faraday-Future in talks to go public through SPAC merger. This is an article that came out, last week or something. Electronic vehicle startup Faraday-Future aims to close a deal soon to go public through reverse merger, special purpose acquisition company, chief executive said on Monday. So this is straight from the company. We are working on such a deal, and we'll be able to announce something hopefully quite soon, Karsten Brefeld said, and the possibility of a SPAC deal. They declined to say who they're doing it with. Of course, we know what a SPAC is. Brefeld, who joined Los Angeles-based company CEO last year, also said the company would deliver its first electric SUV, the FF91, 9 months after securing funding, with the volume production beginning 12 months after such deal. So that's fast. It's going to be way more, more than a year faster than Fisker. Faraday has said it wants to raise $800 million to $850 to launch the FF91, which puts it into basically every SPAC's bracket, unless they're over that, right? Should be totally fine with basically everything that's out there. What got me doing this too is someone had given me some information. I don't know if it originally came from this dude, but this dude ended up making some due diligence on it. And so I was reading through it and I was like, man, I'm just going to use this. It pretty much lays it out. This person is Evergrande Capital 321. I found him on StockTwits. He said SPAC matchmaking. Who will target Faraday-Future? Here's a link. This is their website, I think. 321. I'm guessing 321 Market Watch. I guess got a Discord, so like him, follow him. This is straight from his website. The negative connotations surrounding Faraday-Future's supposed public debut are interesting. Yes, the founder went bankrupt and the company stepped in to support him. It's not a perfect past. No, that it's not a normal occurrence in this business world. Yes, the company has financial troubles. Its own stemmed from little to no revenue stream and a growing capital expenditure budget. Of course, it's a new EV startup. It's just how it is. No, these troubles aren't the death knell for the company, and the right leadership and investors are in place. However, all that being said, the company is still worth at least a couple billion, and after the demotion of one of the chairman's, the subsequent hire of a new CEO, Karsten, it would seem, at least on the surface, that the company intends to fully right the ship. So which SPAC could be bold enough to target a company like Faraday? Is there one out there which checks off all the boxes? I've sourced and looked into everything, and what do I come up with? CITIC. I've never even heard of this SPAC. CITIC, Capital Acquisition Corp. Ticker is CCAC. CCAC would fit the mold almost perfectly. CCAC debuted February this year with a current trust fund to $75 million, which would pair up totally fine. SPAC has connections with CITIC Capital out of China, which leads an investment portfolio of approximately $7.6 billion and is tied to current CCAC CFO Eric Chan, who also serves as CFO and managing director of CITIC Capital. I went and verified like 90% of this information. Just put a couple screenshots of some of the verification stuff, but it's all legit as far as I can tell. So their target industry via the SPAC, CCAC's target is, while we may pursue a business combination with any target we want, industry we intend to search globally for companies in the energy efficiency, clean technology, and sustainability sectors, with a focus on companies that we believe be positioned for success in China, as well as other markets in Asia and beyond. Seems, I mean, you might as well say we're going to try to get an EV company in Asia, right? I mean, straight up. Interestingly enough, Faraday Future has deep connections to China. Evergrande Group, one of the largest property owner developers in China, had previously invested $2 billion directly into Faraday Futures, and although they filed litigation against Yueting in the past in order to settle outstanding debt obligations, they ultimately decided to settle the dispute outside of the courts. That's great. Great. Themselves have been actively investing in electronic vehicle startups very recently, including a new $516 million joint venture alongside Tencent, Didi, Sequoia Capital, and Jack Ma himself for a new Chinese electronic venture platform. Eric Chan, the CITIC Capital of CITIC Capital, is among the peers of the Evergrande Group. So there's a big connection there, and even share some of these same investments together, including CITIC's part ownership of the shared 28% stake of Evergrande Group property management division, which recently targeted a spin-off IPO for itself on the Hong Kong market. CITIC is heavily invested in real estate, and Eric Chan himself is a real estate guru to his own right. There's many correlations between them. Here's another link if you want to look for backing up of this. You can click this link and go there and take a look. He said, all that being said, the shared interests and connections between CITIC and Evergrande are palatable and significant enough to at least warrant some consideration in a potential deal. After all, 90% of Yueting and Faraday's Futures debtors come from China, and I'm sure the sight of the EV craze in the U.S. markets piques the interest of the current outstanding shareholders of the company looking to unlock some equity from their prior investments into them. Yueting, of course, no longer has significant enough stake in the company, so sway in opinions. However, the new CEO, Karsten, has his own China connections, having recently pulled away from Chinese EV startup Byton in order to right the Faraday ship in the United States. There's also the fact that Faraday Future has previously announced its intentions to compete with Tesla in China and other markets around the globe. This would at least fall in line with the CCAC's mission of targeting a clean technology company positioned well for success in the Chinese markets, among others. Additionally, Faraday Future entered into a 50-50 joint partnership with Chinese online video game company, The Nine, last year in order to bring the new EV to China. It seems as though Faraday envisions its success as more anchored to China than the US, given the controversies surrounding its stateside. I'm not saying it's a done deal that CCAC will ultimately forge a deal with Faraday Future. I'm merely raising the prospect of the SPAC, which is relatively unknown, but the significant enough connections to the company to at least make a phone call to the powers that be at FF. There's enough substance there for SPAC investors, or at least glance at the prospect of this merger combination. Whether you believe in the company or not, the EV craze is real. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. FF can potentially right the ship with the right management team, good decision making. We'll see how this one plays out. So, problem with the past, they've had like weird bankruptcy stuff going on. There's always going to be financial hardship stuff going on with startup anything, but especially EV startups, right? It's just going to happen. As far as like the bankruptcy stuff, that's definitely an eyesore for investors and everybody. Their website, it's kind of basic, kind of cheesy, but it's literally one little thing here. They've got solar panels and they've got windmills in the background, so they're definitely playing on it. I can't believe I've never heard of this one. Has anyone ever even heard of this before? I sure haven't. So again, if you want to take a look at this SEC report, I've got it here linked for you. CCAC ticker, CITIC Capital Acquisition Corp. They've got a 200 million MERS. That's what they launched with at least. I guess it's been upsized. Take a look at the comments though. Take a look at these comments. They are at the lowest ever. Wait, no, they were like 1 cent. They were down to $9.70 at one point, but right now they're sitting at $9.71. What's the risk on this? 5 minutes of your time? I don't know. The warrants, I wish they were lower, of course. Those launched about 40 cents. Now they're $1.15. If this was Rivian, I'd be like, throw chips. Don't even care. $1.15, fantastic. Here you go. But I don't know how the market's going to react to Faraday, to be honest. I don't know if it's got the cool factor. I'd compare this one to maybe XBEV a little bit. You know, this isn't like a supercar looking company. It just looks like a cheaper Tesla alternative. But again, Tesla strong-armed everybody by saying, hey, dude, we're going to offer one of our models for like 25 grand, which blew me away, by the way. Good job, Mr. Elon Musk. That's going to give them competition something to dance on, right? So I don't know. You know, decide what you want to do on this. To me, if you got some extra capital, I mean, you could park it in these commons. Why not, right? $9.71. Can't go much lower than that. The warrants just kind of sketchy at this point. You know, I would be a buyer around 50-ish cents. I ain't buying warrants right now unless they're cheap. Period. I don't care unless it's like Rivian or something. Then I might change my mind. You know, Faraday. That's about where we're going to be. So what do you think? You think you can jump into this one? I think it's cool. You know, we go to a big, deep dive on this thing if you want, taking a look at more of the company. I think it's got room. I mean, they're way far along. They've got driving models. They've got an SUV and like a little car thing. I think it'll be all right. Let's move on to some more news. So, Jaemon, he has helped out a lot with the nation. He said, hey, man, I think this might help. So he got a message from the United States Mint, and they recently adopted a new strategy for pricing products in silver numismatic products portfolio. Prices for products containing silver will change effective tomorrow. Applicable to silver products already on sale, those yet to be released. So what does that mean? I don't know. I know that physical silver and metals are still in short supply. Suppliers still cannot pull as much as they want, especially in bigger bars. I don't know. If they're running out of, if the United States Mint still can't get silver, the prices might go up, or it could be the opposite. So I went ahead and took a screencast of the American Eagles, currently going for $54 for a 1 ounce silver uncirculated coin. That is today. Tomorrow, remind me if I forget. And let's check it. See if the price goes up. It'll be interesting for us to see what's going on. They said it could be collectibles only, so I got to look at another one, right? Numismatic. So I'll put a numismatic up there too, and we'll have to check on that. Let's take a look at SPY. Shall we look at SPY? This thing, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking should happen. So it's just gapping straight up. This right here still doesn't even look too healthy, right? So yeah, I just don't see it. It just doesn't look healthy, right? That doesn't look healthy at all. This last couple days, dude, I'm actually surprised that it gapped again today. Gapped up again. QQQ, you know, it's basically the same, right? Same thing. Why? Because most of this makes SPY right now. Regardless, this came up and touched this line we already had in here at 296. Smacked it, boom, boom, rejected. Well, then we got rejected at this line here at the 294. Where's it going to go? I don't know. There's not a doubt in my mind it's not going to come down, re-clear this gap for sure. And then we've also got, again, this gap down here that we need to refill now too. At some point, this is so parabolic up though. I could see it I'd say by midweek, would be shocked if we didn't at least clear this gap down to 286, basically 285. So just be careful, you know. I mean, this might be a really good time to get into those inverse ETFs. You know, even if those, say we get another like little gap up tomorrow, it might even be worth holding it because it might go down 5% or 2% or whatever, but you'll be thanking yourself for having it when we wake up one day and it's down 6% or 4%, and then gap down for a week and a half. You know, I don't know. So just protect yourself. I'm not saying go buy one of those right this second. I'm just saying it's definitely an option to look at right now if you want to hedge the rest of your account. You know, it's not definitely something I would ever put 100% of my money into inverse anything, but you know, at least like a little portion to at least make you some money to help recoup any losses that you might take from other stuff going on. I want to take a look at SRAC. So here is this is the confirmed spaceship one, right? Oh, look at that. Had some good action today. So we got some volume. today this went from like $1.85 to 2, and then it actually went up to like 2.30. People took some profits and ended the day about 2.05. I think this is one of those SPACs that didn't do good at first because no one still knew about it. You know, remember, did you see my video on this one, what it started at, Stable Road? And then it switched over to space. You know, so the space thing helped it, but it stayed pretty darn stable, right? You know, the commons are still like, I don't know, $10.70 or something, but this looks pretty strong. I could see this is one of those ones that doesn't run at first, but eventually will run. So it'll be interesting to see, is anyone else in this, or is everyone trying to wait for GIX for the Firefly? I'm actually liking this one because I started thinking about it, how it's kind of like ChargePoint. You know how ChargePoint is the elephant in the room? It's the big bad boy for the charging space. That's what these guys are. You know, they're the middleman play for all spaceships and satellites. Instead of investing in like one satellite, you can invest them in all by hooking up with these guys. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. If you have any other plays you want me to take a look at, please let me know down in the comments. If you haven't joined our Patreon, please do it. I'm sliding you guys deals. You knew about what this video was about today before. You guys might already bought in it. You know, I'm sending you charts, helping you guys out. I don't think there's any way possible you're not going to get your money back, at least within a week or two, for sure. All right. So if you wouldn't mind sharing this video with your friends, it definitely helps out and greatly appreciated. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. Take care.